get that going. All right. Okay, so we're going to start with a little bit of standing breath and some gentle stretches, and then we will make our way down to the mat for some hip work, some ab work, some back work, in that order. And then if we have time, we'll finish standing with a little bit of balance work. So go ahead and meet me in the middle of your mat. You don't need anything for today's class other than your yoga mat, or I guess it's your Pilates mat today. And just remember that I'm offering you options for your movement practice today, but take whatever works for you. Feel free to adapt. Do what feels good in your body today. So start with your feet right under your hip points. And before we do anything, I just want you to rock forward. You can bring your hands to your hips. Rock forward to the balls of your feet and back to your heels and forward to the balls of your feet and back to your heels, and then find that middle place where you've got all 4 points of your foot contacting the mat. Where you take a slight bend in the knees, ground through those 4 points, and let's inhale, arms overhead as you breathe in, and exhale, push the air away, grow taller. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, arms overhead. Now as you breathe in, and just keep breathing, I'm going to talk for a minute. I want you to think about expanding 360 degrees in your torso. And what that means when you inhale is that your rib cage actually expands to the side as well as to the front and the back. So let's do that one more time. So you can get that side expansion of the rib cage as you inhale. And then exhale, hands come down. Now we layer on. We inhale, arms come up. Right arm comes down, reach up. And then over, getting a good side stretch here. Push into your left foot. And then inhale, right arm comes up, the left leg comes down, or pushes down, it's already down. Getting that big stretch, one more each direction. Inhale, up. Exhale, reach up and over to the right. Inhale through center, and up and over to the left. Now inhale, both arms come overhead. We're gonna twist to the right as our arms come down. So I'm pushing forward with my right hip as I'm twisting my heart to the side. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, find that twist to the other side. So as you're rotating at the rib cage, keep going, let's go to the right. You're finding opposite rotation or anti-rotation through the hips. One more time to the left, rotate from the heart, and then inhale, arms overhead. And let's go ahead and take the arms down. Now just roll your shoulders back for 4, 3, 2, and let's take this to a full arm circle. So we reach up and back. 3, 2, last one. And now let's do shoulder rolls forward for 4, 3, get that big stretch through the shoulder blades. Now let's do the full arm. Sweep it back and forward. For 3, 2, last one. All right, let's go ahead and come to the end of your mat. And for those of you who haven't been in Pilates the past couple of weeks, our classes are 45 minutes now. I just wanted to mention that. So if you have to leave at 12:45, the old time, go for it. I hope you can stick around until 1. So we've got the same parallel feet right under our hips. We're standing tall. We're going to inhale, arms overhead, just like we've been doing. Exhale, chin to chest, roll down as if you were peeling your spine off of a wall behind you. Don't worry about going all the way. You can bend your knees, they can be straightened. Let your head hang heavy here. Inhale, and then exhale, roll it up one bone at a time. Imagining that wall behind you. Shoulders, and then head come last. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, we roll down again, just like that. We're taking our time here. This time we're going to hang out in our forward fold. So you can bring your hands to the floor, to the shins, to your thighs, whatever works for you. And I want you to bend your knees and then straighten. And bend and reach. 3 more like that. Every time you reach, you might think tailbone up toward the ceiling. That's our last one. Nice deep breath in. Push into your heels as you roll back up. This is a full body exercise. Inhale, arms overhead. Last time, we're gonna roll down, chin to chest. Walk your hands down your legs, bring them to the floor, bend your knees if you need to, and walk out to a plank. Ooh, that was kind of sneaky, huh? So we're gonna finish our little warm up here with the plank. So your knees can be up or down, up to you today. Want your hands under your shoulders. You're reaching through your heels, reaching through the crown of your head. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Push the floor away, but keep a little softening of the elbows. And then think about lifting your heart. So that's our strong shoulder girdle. Take a nice deep breath in here. And on the exhale, knees come down. That was a mini plank, really. Don't worry, we'll come back to that later. Now you're in a quadruped position. So I want your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders, okay? So let's find that same strong shoulder girdle we did before. I want you to keep your arms straight, straight-ish. You can have a softening there if you want. Drop your heart between your upper arms. So I just sank down and my shoulder blades came closer together. And then push away, lift your heart. Now my shoulder blades have come apart. It actually feels really good. So let's do that a couple of times. In Pilates, we call these scapular glides. So you're keeping your hips steady, but you're dropping your rib cage and then lifting. One more time, feeling that glide of the shoulder blades. Sink your chest and then lift your chest, heart toward the ceiling, and then come right between those two places where you feel strong. You're neither sinking nor overly lifting. Push the floor away. Knees are under the hips. We're going to find some cat-cows right here. So we inhale, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under. That starts a wave. Your head drops toward the mat. You're rounding your spine. Inhale, tailbone reaches up. That starts the opposite wave. That creates an arch in your back. Exhale, curl, tuck your tailbone, let your head drop, look between your knees or even towards your belly. And then inhale. Do 2 more of those with your own breath. Exhale on the curl. You're rounding, rounding, rounding. Inhale as you reach your tailbone up. And then come to your neutral position between those two. All right, let's get down to a little bit of work here. When I say front leg, I mean the leg that's closest to me. If you're a profile like I am, if not, just figure it out. We're just gonna go back and forth between legs. So I want you to take that leg that's closest to me and reach it behind you. Now your hip probably just popped open a little bit. I want you to bring it down so it's parallel with your back hip, okay? So we're not here, but rather here, for now, okay? So we're pushing the floor away. We've got that strong shoulder girdle. We've got the leg reaching back. Hips are parallel. We're going to inhale, exhale, knee to nose. And here you can round a little bit. And then inhale, reach back. Come back to that neutral spine. Exhale, bring it in. And inhale, reach it long. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach it long. One more time like this. Now we're going to do 8 more. You have the option of reaching your backhand out. So you've got a little balance challenge here. We exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach. 4 more. 3 more, bring it in. You're activating the abs as you bring it in. That's what the exhale helps with. 2 more. Last one. And now just hold for a moment. Can you reach your arms longer or your fingers longer? Can you reach your toes longer? And then I want you to go ahead and bring your hand down. So actually, we're going to come down to our elbow with the back arm. So I'm taking my elbow under my shoulder, and then my back hand is going to come to my front hand. And then my front hand is going to reach out to create a little tripod here, a little tent in front of me, okay? So my hips are parallel. I'm going to open them. So now I do want you to open, so that I'm stacking hip over hip, and then bring it down and close. and open. Stack your hips on top of each other. And then bring that front hip down, shine it toward the floor. And open, and close. So we're getting some really nice hip mobility work here. Hopefully you're feeling some work in your standing hip as well, the one that is supporting you. 2 more. We open and close. Last one, we open, and we're gonna hold it here on the open. So make any adjustments that you need to. I want your shoulders drawing away from your ears, length through the crown of your head. Your hips are stacked one on top of the other. We take a little leg lift. It's up and slightly back. So it's up, and up, and up, and up. 4 more. 4. So side of the hip. Glutes are gonna feel this as well. I mean, it's the same thing. 2, and hold it here. Now tiny circle back. Tiny circle back. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and bring it down. Sit back into child's pose. Quick break here. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Come back up to all fours. And we're actually going to just crawl our quadruped around to the other direction. This is so that I don't have to turn away from you and you don't have to turn away from me. So now we've got the opposite leg in front. Reestablish that solid foundation, hands under shoulders, shoulders away from ears, strong shoulder girdle. And let's reach the front leg back. So it's just the other leg if you haven't turned around, okay? We start with our hips parallel, so shine that front hip down. It's level with your back hip. We exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, knee to nose, and reach it long. Now, I keep looking at you. Exhale. But now that you know what we're doing, try not to look at me. Try to use my voice. If you need to take a peek, that's cool. That's the other reason that we turn it around. So at least you're looking in both directions equally. Okay, option to lift the back hand out. So you have opposite arm leg. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach it long. I'm not worried about how high your leg gets, but can you make it longer? Exhale, bring it in. We have 4 more. And 3, 2 more. As you reach it long, I want you to feel that glute turn on. Last one. Okay, bring that back hand down. You're gonna bring the elbow down, and then hand comes forward to touch your other hand, but then you take your front hand out to give yourself a little bit of support in the front. So you've got kind of a tripod thing going on here. We're gonna shift our hips so they're facing down. So hips are parallel. And then they open, and parallel, and then hip over hip, open it up. You keep that back leg long, and open it up. Now you can look at me. Take it down. Here's where we get to smile and say hello. Let's do 4 more. And 3. 2 more. Last one. Hold it on the open. So we're aiming for hip over hip. Shoulders melt away from the ears. Little lift up and back with your back leg. And up. Back and up. It's a small, like you're drawing a diagonal line with your toe. All right. We have 4, 3, 2. Now hold it up, circle back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's circle it front. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to all fours. We'll do a couple of quick hip stretches here before we take it down for abs. So back in your quadruped for the last time for now. I want you to Take your front hip and bring it towards your shoulder. So it's like wagging the tail. We actually call this wag the tail in Pilates. And then wag the opposite direction. So you can actually bring your gaze to your hip. So you're getting a big side stretch and some hip mobility. And then take it to center. I want you to draw a circle with your tailbone. Let the upper body do whatever feels good to you. We're just loosening up some of that tension that we created with that glute work. Now reverse your circle for 4, 3, 2, last one, and go ahead and turn yourself around. Doesn't matter which way you face for this. We're going to do a series of ab work and a little bit more hip work at the same time. We're going to kind of break up our ab work with more hip work. So we're going to roll down to the floor. And I'm actually going to change my light real quick because I feel like I'm blending into my couch. So let me see if I can get a little more light shining on my mat. I don't know. That might be better. Maybe not. It is what it is. Okay, so we're down on the floor here. I'm going to relax my head, neck, and shoulders for the moment. Hands come down to the floor. Bring your heels in a little bit closer to your glutes. Your knees are in line with your hip points, just like when we were standing before. We're going to do some bridge lifts. So we inhale, exhale. I want you to curl your tailbone up. That's it for now. And then inhale, go ahead and arch your back a little bit as you reach your tailbone down. Exhale, curl your tailbone up. So these are just like some pelvic rocks to start. Now exhale, curl your pelvis toward the ceiling. Let that start a roll where one bone at a time you lift up. Hold it here for a moment. So we've done this rolling from standing where we kind of imagine we were peeling our back off the wall. Now we do the same thing on the mat. Push into your heels though. First I want you to find your strong bridge. Imagine you're reaching your knees over your toes. And then we're going to roll it down starting from the chest. So I drop my sternum, I drop the middle of my back, I drop my lower back, and then the last thing to touch down is my tailbone. I inhale. Exhale, tailbone curls up. You start to peel your spine off the mat. Find your strong bridge here. Activate your inner thighs so that your knees stay in line with your hips. Imagine you're reaching your knees over your toes. And now we exhale, drop your chest, drop the middle of your back, and then finally drop your tailbone. One more time, exhale, curl up. And we're gonna find our way up to a bridge. Now my shoulder blades are still on the floor, really working the glutes and the hamstrings here, pushing into my heels, knees reach over my toes. You're either gonna hold long and strong here, or you're gonna come on this adventure with me, where you lift either your knee up to tabletop, or you lift your leg strong, still trying to stay lifted. So I'm pushing into my back heel like crazy, keeping my hips level, trying not to rock and roll too much, and I'm gonna lower so that my knees come next to each other and take it up for 7 and up. It looks like this if you have the knee bent. For 5, 4, keep pushing into that foot that's on the floor. 2 more. Last one, hold it here, 8 little pulses. Up, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that foot down, but stay in your bridge. Whew, that's a burner, right? Okay, reestablish that even foundation, shoulder blades are on the floor. You can bring your knee to tabletop, or you can bring the foot up toward the ceiling. Keep activating the inner thigh on your standing foot. And we lower and lift for 7, 6, 5, just so that knees are next to each other. 3, 2, hold it here at the top. Uncurl your toes on the floor, push into your heel, lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That foot comes down, stay in your bridge. Ready to roll it down? Drop your chest, drop the middle of your back. I didn't have so far to go this time. because I was a little lower, and uncurl. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. And we're ready for some ab work. So go ahead and set your feet down, maybe a little bit farther away this time from where you were. Let's take our hands behind our head. You can gently interlace the fingers, or you can have hand over hand, whatever works for you. Bring your elbows in a little bit so you can see them in your peripheral vision. But I want you to try to stay wide in the collarbone. Take a nice deep breath in. Now you've got your tailbone on the floor. You have your neutral spine. So we're not tucking, we're not tilting. We're in that in-between. Lower abs are supporting us. Inhale, exhale, lift from your chest. Sometimes we do this with a pillow. Imagine you have a pillow behind you and you're pushing it away with your back ribs. And inhale down. Exhale, find that little lift. And take it down. Exhale, lift. Push the mat away with your back ribs. And down for 3 and 2. Then we're going to hold it up on 1. Let's lift our front leg to tabletop and then set it down. And lift your back leg to tabletop and set it down. Now I'm trying to stay lifted here. Keep going with those legs alternating. Now you can always just focus on the lower legs, or the lower body. Focus on the legs. And then if you would like to turn up the intensity a little, I want you to just cross your legs. So as one toe is coming up, the other one's coming down, you're still pushing the imaginary ball or pillow away behind your chest, trying to stay lifted, marching for 4, 3, 2, now hold it here. I want the knee closest to me to be the one that's lifted. Extend your bottom leg and then twist armpit toward knee or rib cage toward knee. We're going into crisscross, classic Pilates exercise. Inhale, exhale, switch, and switch, and switch. So I'm staying lifted in my chest, and I'm rotating from the heart, from the chest. And I always cue armpit to knee because it's not an elbow exercise. Like, it doesn't matter if I can touch my elbow to my knee. I want to imagine that I touch my opposite rib cage to my knee. 2 more sets. Woo, last one. And then go ahead and bring your knees in, head, neck, shoulders, relax. Give yourself that little rock side to side. All right, I'm sweating today. And I have my AC on, so. Okay, I want you to go ahead and let your knees just rock toward me. We're gonna come onto our side for some more hip work. You know how much I love the hip work. So face me, don't worry about what direction you're going because we're gonna do both sides equally. Bring your elbow under your shoulder and then draw your shoulder back. So roll it back into the socket. So you have a nice strong foundation here. Lift up under your rib cage. So we're going for a beautiful diagonal line from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Want your hips stacked one on top of the other. Heels are in line with your butt. Knees are bent. Now keep your bottom thigh on the floor, but lift your feet off the floor, okay? You can have your hip here. If you'd like to feel the activation of the muscle, you have it in front of you. Make any adjustments that you need to. Keep the bottom leg where it is. Top leg opens to a diamond and then closes. And open and close. So we're rotating at the top hip. Might not go that far, and that's okay. I want you to keep your hips stacked one on top of the other. So you can imagine sort of the head of the femur bone, kind of giving your hips a little massage here, okay? For 3, 2, now let's hold it up, little pulses. 8, up and back, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and close your knees. You can come down, stay on your side, but we're going to go ahead and give the neck and the torso a rest. You can prop your head up with your hand, or you can rest your head on your upper arm. Totally up to you. I want you to straighten both legs. So this is going to be an ab exercise as much as it is a hip exercise. Wow, that's hard to say. So top leg, I want you to flex your feet. Imagine you're pushing them into a wall. That's going to help you here. You've got a little lift under your torso still, even though we're under the floor. We're hugging everything in toward the midline for the abs. Lift your top leg, lower. Lift and lower. So pretty simple leg lift to start. Up and down for 3. Hips are still stacked one on top of the other. Feet are in line with your hips. Last one. Now hold that leg up. Bottom leg lifts up and it comes down. And up and down. So you're going to notice you're feeling this as much in your abs as you might be in the legs. And down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring both legs down. We put those together. It's like a ladder. It goes top leg down, top leg down. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift. Now you can either keep going with that or glue your legs together. Lift both and lower. For 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, keep pushing through your heels. Last one, bring your knees in. Go ahead and push yourself up to seated. Come to a cross-legged position. Whatever leg was just on top for you, it comes in front of that cross-legged position. Sit tall, push your sits bones into the floor, and then walk your fingers out. Nice deep breath here. Now the more you reach your tailbone behind you and energy through the crown of your head, the more stretch you're going to feel on that hip. Nice deep breath in. And then exhale, walk it in. We're going to come to the other side. So go ahead. First we find our diamond or clamshell position. So set up, elbow under shoulder. You're lifted under the torso. And I want your shoulders strong. So roll it back into the socket. Lift it here. Heels in line with your hips. And then stack your hips one on top of the other. Lift your feet, but your bottom thigh stays on the mat. And then open to the diamond and close. And open and close. So sometimes I like my hand in front. Keep going. For that little tripod. Sometimes I like to put my hand here on the side of my hip to feel the gluteus medius working. And open and close. 2 more. Last set all the way through. Now open it, little pulses up and back. Back, back, back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and close your diamond. Come down to either your head propped up in your hand or your forearm, whatever feels good. Lengthen your legs. So you're in line with your mat here. Hips are still stacked. I'm already working just to stay in this position. Want that little lift under your torso so you're not collapsing. And we start with the top leg. Flex your feet. We lift and lower. So sometimes if I imagine that I'm lifting through my heel, and it's as much about the out as it is about the up. You're reaching your leg long away from you and up. For 3, 2, now hold it up. Here comes the bottom leg. It goes up. Ooh, mine's not quite reaching. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, inner thighs are working here. Last one. Now both legs come down. We do the ladder. It's top leg, top leg. Up, up, down, down. Lift, lift, lower, lower. I like the exhale on the bottom lift. Now either keep going with the staggered lift or glue your legs together. Lift them both up for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Go ahead and bend your knees in. Push up to seated. That leg that was on top comes in front. Same stretch as before. So sit tall. Inhale, exhale. Keep your back long or your spine long as you walk your fingertips out. Push your tailbone away. Length through the crown of your head. Get that good hip stretch. Nice deep breath in. And then walk your hands in. And we're coming back to our back for round 2 of ab work. You didn't think we were done with that, did you? I mean, this is Pilates after all, right? So we're back down on the floor, head, neck, and shoulders on the floor. We're gonna do the Pilates single straight leg stretch. So before we do that, I want an actual stretch. Straight leg stretch in Pilates, that's a lie of a title, it's ab work. But we are gonna enjoy a stretch first. So front leg, grab onto it behind your calf, behind your thigh, on your foot, whatever. Keep your tailbone on the mat and just pull that leg back. Enjoy a little stretch here. And then release, that foot comes down to the floor. Bring your back leg up. Enjoy that stretch for the back of the leg. Grab on wherever it feels right. Maybe not behind the knee though. And then release that foot down to the floor. Now front leg comes back up. Tailbone is long. Back leg is going to hover. You're going to reach it long. So it's just hovering above your mat. You're going to inhale. Remember our ab curl from before? Exhale. Find your ab curl. You're pushing away with your back ribs. You're reaching your forehead towards your knee. It's okay if it doesn't get that close. We inhale, 2 little sniffs as we pull the leg back. So stretch and ab work at the same time, and then switch. Switch. Inhale, 2 little pulls, and switch. Go at your own pace. Sniff, sniff, switch. Exhale. Maybe you can come a little higher. Pull, 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 pull. Let's do one more set one more each leg. And then bring your knees in towards your chest. Rest your head down for a moment. Nice deep breath in. Last ab challenge here. I want you to inhale. Keep your knees in close. Hug them in. Exhale. Find that ab curl from the chest, pushing away with your back ribs. We exhale. Pull yourself into a tight little ball. And then inhale. Arms and legs reach away from each other. Exhale. Circle your arms. Pull it in. Inhale. Reach. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, reach. You decide how low the legs and arms go. Pull it in. We got one more. Your best one. Pull it in, exhale. Inhale, reach, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and pull the knees in. Relax the head, neck, shoulders. Give it a little rock, side to side. And let's bring our arms out to a T. Feet down on the floor. Quick release here. Just let your knees sway side to side. See if you can keep your shoulders both on the floor as you do this. You'll get a nice spine twist. All right, let's hug our knees in. Rock yourself up, or maybe it's knees to the front, pushing up to seated. Up to you. Now I said a nice little spine twist, which was foreshadowing, because our next exercise is called spine twist in Pilates. So I want you to sit up tall. Your feet are in a very narrow V, so no wider than the edges of your mat, maybe even a little bit more narrow. I want you to sit tall, so reaching energy through the crown of the head. That might mean bending your knees a little bit. That's fine. I'd rather have the length in the spine and a bend in the knees than this. So you find the place that works for you. And I want you to reach your arms forward. So first we do spine stretch forward, and it's exactly what it sounds like. But remember that peeling off the wall we did when we rolled down? We're gonna do that here too. So I'm flexing my feet really actively, whether they're bent or not. I'm sitting tall, line of energy through the crown of my head. I inhale, exhale, start to round forward. Peel your spine off that imaginary wall that somehow keeps being behind your back. And when you peel down as far as you can go and you're in a C shape, then reach forward. Nice deep breath in, exhale, roll it back up. and straighten up. Inhale, exhale, round your upper spine. Find that C shape and then reach it forward. This is why it's called spine stretch forward. And then straighten up. One more time here. Exhale, round. Reach it forward. And then exhale, restack. Now take your fingertips to your shoulders. We're still sitting tall. I'm going to plant my back hip, or the hip that's farthest away from the screen, on the mat, and it does not get to move. As I inhale, exhale, rotate your heart toward me. And then inhale, center, rotate away. Now remember that little sniff sniff we did? Now we exhale, 2 little twists. Inhale, exhale, twist, twist. Inhale, inhale. Hips are stable. Should feel like a little bit of ab work. One more each direction. Last time, twist away from me. And let's go ahead and set our hands down. Bring your feet into that cross-legged position, but it's really just a vehicle to get you face down on the mat. Indeed, we're going to come prone and do a little bit of back work here, okay? So we're going to start with our baby swan. We do this almost every class. It's nice thoracic extension, so important. Bring your hands just a little bit forward of your shoulders, but more or less in line with your shoulders. Lengthen the crown of the head. Lengthen your tailbone away. In fact, let's reach one leg up and back, and then rest it down. Reach the other leg up, reach it back, and rest it down. Now you're in a strong position. We inhale, exhale, lengthen your tailbone as you lift your heart, lift your gaze. Don't push into the mat with your hands. And then lower down. Exhale, lift your heart. Imagine you're pushing that pillow away with your chest now. And lower down. It's basically reverse ab work, really. Inhale, exhale, lift. Maybe float your arms and lower down. We're working the back muscles. We're stretching the upper back. One more time. Lift and take it down. Now make your body into an X. Hands shooting out from the 2 front corners of your mat. Legs through the back corners. We're going to keep our neck nice and long. Inhale, exhale, lift your front arm and back leg. So you've got a diagonal line and lower down. Let's do the other side. Front leg, back arm, and lower down. And lift and lower. I like to lift on the exhale. That helps me lengthen my tailbone and stay out of my lower back. And lift. Now you can keep going with these slow lifts and lowers. If you would like, lift your arms and your legs. Keep reaching through the heart, and you start to flutter your arms and legs. This is our Pilates swimming. So we inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. Your entire back body is working. You're reaching your legs out long behind you, reaching your fingers in front of you. One more set. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then lower down. Make a little pillow with your hands. Go ahead and turn your head toward me. Rest your cheek. Take a nice deep breath in. Doesn't look like cardio, but it kind of feels like it, right? And then let's go ahead and bring our hands under our shoulders. Sit it back for a quick child's pose. You can keep your knees wide. So reach, sink your tailbone back. Let your hips be heavy on your heels. Reach your arms forward. Nice deep breath in. And I promised you one more plank. So we're going to get that in before we stretch it out. So go ahead and come back to your quadruped position. Let's try a forearm plank this time, but know that you can always come to straight arms if that feels better for you. So I'm going to take my elbows under my shoulders. Hands are flat on the mat. Shoulders melt away from the ears. Now start to walk your knees back. Lengthen out your spine so you're creating that line from your shoulders to your hips. Now, first option is to stay here. And look what happens if you press the tops of your feet into the mat. Everything hugs in toward the center line of your body, your abs turn on. So this is a great place to work if you want to stay here. Otherwise, tuck your toes under. Come to your full forearm plank. So I'm reaching through my heels, reaching through the crown of my head, and I'm working really hard to not let my hips lift, because that's what they kind of want to do right now, okay? However, from here we add on a little bit of a hip dip. So right hip dips down to the floor and then comes back to neutral. Back hip down to the floor and through center. So go back and forth. Maybe inhale as you dip, exhale as you reestablish. Up to you. As long as you're breathing, that's really the most important thing. Let's do 2 more sets. 1 more. Front hip dips and realign. Back hip, realign, hold it here. Lengthen through the crown of the head, lengthen through the heels, push your forearms in to the floor, and then go ahead and lower your knees. 1 more child's pose, sit it back. All right, let's walk our hands toward the front of the room or toward the computer or your TV, whatever you're looking at. Reach your hip, your opposite hip back, even heavier. And then walk your hands away from me. The hip closest to me reaches, 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 and sinks heavy. And then bring it back to center, up to our front quadruped 1 more time. Tuck your toes under, maybe walk your hands forward just a little bit. We're coming up to a downward facing dog. So reach your hips up toward the ceiling. Get that tailbone up and then straighten your legs. See what a difference that makes. Maybe your heels come down to the mat, maybe they don't. Keep reaching the tailbone up either way. Pedal your heels out. So lowering 1 heel at a time. Keep pushing the floor away with your hands. And then come to neutral. Start to walk your feet in towards your hands. Hold your forward fold here for a moment. Hands can be on shins, they can be on floor, wherever it feels good for you, but let your head hang heavy. Let this be a release for your neck. And in fact, I want you to shake your head no, and then nod your head yes, and then let it hang heavy. Maybe you clasp opposite elbows and give yourself a little sway, side to side. And then come back to center, hands on the floor, bend your knees, push into your heels as you roll up 1 last time, just like we did at the beginning of the class. Stack your hips over your heels, rounding, rounding, rounding. Roll your shoulders back, head on top. Nice deep breath in here. Arms overhead. Exhale. And then I'm going to turn towards you. You can turn toward me as we finish off here. So feet under your hip points. Nice deep breath in, arms overhead. We're going to do some of those stretches that we started with. Exhale, grow tall, push the air away. Inhale, arms overhead. Reach your left arm up as your right arm floats down. Take it over. Inhale. Let's go right to the other side. This time we add on. Inhale, take the arm up. Right arm lowers, left arm lifts, and then we go over. Now we rotate left rib cage toward the floor. Get a big stretch behind your shoulder, behind the ribs. Inhale, restack, and come through center. Inhale, both arms overhead. Left arm down, right arm up. Big side stretch. Push into your right foot. And then rotate forward. Reach the fingertips. And restack. And inhale, both arms up. We're going over again. We're just going to keep adding on here. Take it over. First you get the lateral stretch. Then we rotate front. Now restack and stay here. And we're gonna rotate back. So open your chest toward the ceiling and reach your arm as long as you can. And then let's bring it back to shoulder in line with shoulder. Right arm comes up, left arm goes down. Reach up and over. First we get the side stretch, then rotate forward. Feels so good. At least it does for me. Inhale, restack. Exhale, open it. Open your chest toward the ceiling. Reach your fingertips away. And then come back to shoulder in line with shoulder. And we're back center. Okay, quick neck stretch. Inhale, arms overhead. Right fingertips reach out. Keep pushing the air away. Left fingertips come to your ear. A little bit of gentle encouragement to stretch the neck. I can't emphasize how important that reaching away with the right arm is. Then you can let it go. And then take your gaze down. And then take your gaze back toward the front and release. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, left fingertips reach, reach, reach. And at the same time, some encouragement with your right hand over the ears. Getting a nice neck stretch. And then take your gaze down. And back up. And release. Now inhale, arms overhead. I want you to exhale, arms come in line with your shoulders. And flex your hands and push out with the heel of your hands as hard as you can. I bet you didn't know how much you needed this stretch. But if you've been sitting at a computer all morning like I have, this is a great one. Now take your fingertips down and then flex your hands, fingertips back up, and keep pushing through the heel of the hand as much as you can. One more time, fingertips down, flex your hands, push out with the heel of your hand. Nice deep breath in. And arms come down. One more deep breath in here, all together. Inhale, arms up. Gaze can come up, heart can lift. And then exhale, push the air away, grow taller. And we are all done. And the good news is Monday is half over now. So I'm gonna come in and stop the recording.